Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Unprofessional Mental Health Guy. My name's Matt Morales, and welcome to my channel. We're going to continue and actually finish up the video I started last week, which was my addiction story. I just want to first thank everyone for the positive feedback that I've been getting. I actually had a lot of people reach out to me in various ways and just kind of state how touched they were and how they loved my willingness to be open. So I want to thank everyone who did give good feedback with it, because it means a lot, and to actually make a video like this is not easy. But I don't want to tie up too much time, so without further ado, here's part 2 of I'm an Addict, the recovery. So I began to actually pursue real recovery. I joined a sexual addiction support group at my church, which I'm still even now participating in. I actually facilitate some of the groups as well. And that was a lengthy process of beginning to really dig in deep and really dig in and start to really pull out all these emotional wounds that I had. All these things that I was using sexual addiction to cope with, to survive with on a daily basis. I also started seeing a therapist who worked with me and helped me to unpack a lot of my controlling behaviors, a lot of my abusive behaviors that I had, to where we've discovered that I also suffer with a lot of anxiety, a lot of paranoia, and even now we continue to work through and find stability, and my therapist helps me a lot in maintaining my sobriety. As well, over the past year and a half, I've also had the privilege of developing some really close friendships, a brotherhood, if you will. And these men in my life have been my lifeline in a way. When things are getting bad, when I'm struggling, when I'm wanting to act out and to follow through on my addiction again, I can turn to these people and find shelter in the storm, and find love and acceptance in the midst of turmoil. And when all the world seems like it's about to come crashing down, I have a place that I can go to, people that I can go to lean upon. And it's made all the biggest difference in my life. And to all of those, they know who they are. I am deeply grateful and continue to be deeply grateful for your friendship and your impact in my life. As well, I spent a lot of time just continuing to dig into the Bible, reading more, but reading more with allowing God to speak to me of who He says I am. A lot of the time I would read the Bible and seek to get a, God, what do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? As opposed to, God, who are you? And who do you say I am? And through that, I began to find my identity. I began to realize that I'm a child of God, that I'm eternally loved, that no matter how badly I sin, no matter what kind of evil I might do in my life, I know that God would still love me, still be there for me, and still seek to restore me to be like His Son. He's spoken to me who He sees me as, His Son, a mighty warrior, a gift, and as well, He's given me more of a vision and a calling for my future, which is why I'm going back to school, which is why I'm doing this YouTube channel, and why I continue to seek to be a light to those who are struggling either with mental health issues or just needing someone to be there to talk to in a time of their life. And probably the biggest thing I realized, or the biggest thing I experienced, was what real grace is like. And that real grace, God's grace, the grace that was given to us through Jesus' death on the cross, is shown when we are at our darkest place. We're in the midst of the worst kinds of immorality, where when we would look at ourselves and think, I'm a monster, I'm disgusting, I'm not worth anything, God steps in and instead says, you're worth everything to me, and I love you no matter what, and I'm here no matter what. So, like I said, over the past year and a half is when this entire recovery process has been happening. It's been truly one of the hardest, it's been one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life. More than doing YouTube channels, I've taught at my church before, more than trying to fight for another person's heart, fighting for my own heart, fighting to be healthy has been one of the hardest things I've ever done, if not the hardest thing. But I can actually sit here tonight and say that it's been all 100% worth it, because for the first time in my life I'm actually taking emotional responsibility for myself. I'm actually able to own my own feelings, my own emotions, whether it's I need to cry right now, whether it's I need to be angry, whether I'm filled with joy, confusion, concern. I can own it and actually express it. I've learned what it means to experience pain and not run away from it, but realize that it's there for my good, that it's there to grow me. Scripture says that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance produces character, and character produces hope, and that hope does not disappoint. And so through the pain that I've experienced, through the pain I'm even experiencing today as I'm going through life, I can actually have hope. I've developed such real relationships, as I was saying before. They're not just people I can go to when I have difficulties. They're people that I can just spend time with and laugh with and be real with, that I can be completely open with my heart and know that no part of them will ever judge me, will ever leave me, will ever think less of me, but if anything, they'll come alongside me, love me, show God's grace, and just be there. And I can do the same for them. It's not a one-sided thing to where I'm just taking all the time, but I can give back to them in the same way. And finally, even over these past few weeks, I'm actually able to grieve real loss. The last person that I was in a dating relationship with was truly the love of my life, which is where it hit so hard that they're gone. Over the past couple weeks, really, I've experienced anger with this. But today I was even able to experience just true sadness, actually shed tears and actually mourn the loss of the person that I loved. And that's not something I ever would have been able to experience before. And while I hate each moment of it, while I wish it was over already, while I wish I could just let it go and that it would be gone and that would be done, I still have hope that there's something greater on the other side. I'm not sure what that is or what that's going to look like or when that's going to come, but I have hope. And that's what real freedom looks like. Real freedom from addiction. What it looks like to be mentally healthy. And so if you're struggling with an addiction, if you're struggling with something that has you just bound in some way, where you've tried to escape, where you've tried to quit, where you've tried to let it go and walk away, and every single time it pulls you back in. An abusive relationship, an addiction, there is hope. But to find that hope, you need real relationships. Relationships where you can be yourself and know that there is no judgment. You need to find your true identity. And again, I know not all of my viewers will be Christians, and so your identity may be in something else. But for myself, I can't see myself finding my identity in any other place other than God. But without a true identity, you will never find freedom. And finally, you also need to heal from the wounds of your past. No one stumbles into an addiction or stumbles into an abusive relationship on accident. There are wounds in your past that you're avoiding, running away from, and so I encourage you, I implore you to find healing. And whether that's through a support group, through a therapy, or both, as I did, you need to find a place where you can be all that you need to be, where you can pour out all that you need to pour out and find real healing and good advice as well. So that's basically my story, at least part of my story. Obviously there's other fun things. But this has probably been one of the biggest areas that I've had growth in, one of the biggest areas that I've actually seen myself overcome, and to be able to actually walk in sobriety, and to walk with a level of confidence and knowing that no matter what happens, everything's still going to be okay. And that every day that I spend here is just another opportunity to give back to others and to live the life that God is calling me to live. Makes it all worth it. So I'd love to hear some of your stories, whether privately, publicly, doesn't matter to me, whatever you're comfortable with. And I'd love to just hear your feedback. If you have questions, feel free to ask me. I'll answer as much as I'm able to. So that concludes my story. Thank you to everyone who watched the video. Please leave comments below about the video, or even I genuinely want to hear from my viewers of anything you want me to talk about, different topics, whether it's anxiety, whether relationship, any topic that's concerning mental health. Please leave a comment, and I'll do my best to start researching and to actually make a video and something that'll be applicable to my viewers, so that it's not just me who's just talking, but rather something that's for everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below as well, so that you'll continue to be updated and all on my next videos coming out. Next week I am planning on doing a response to my gay pride video. I actually had a couple people different feedback and everything, so I want to kind of give like a formal response to all of that. So stay tuned for that next week. Otherwise, this is your unprofessional mental health guy signing off.